don't know if I want to.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
What? I know, just calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Just hold my hand. Alright. So, nope, you can't.
Again, you have like a little dress pinned up with a bike wheel.
Just here. Keep looking over.
When you step into the isolated wilderness, the most terrifying threats don't always come from nature. From an explorer trapped inside an abandoned factory, as a gunshot echoes through the halls, to a camper suddenly surrounded by local firefighters, hunting an active arsonist. Someone else is out there. If the shadows began closing in, would you run or fight back? On a quiet morning at the St. Louis River near the Boy Scout landing boat ramp, a man named David launched his kayak alone. His Channel Jones Outdoors follows his solo fishing trips on open water. That day, the wind intensified quickly. The waves began moving fast. Then, somewhere across the river, he heard a sound that immediately changed everything, a child screaming in panic.
Okay. Well, your dad's back there, but I'm gonna bring you in the shore, okay? I know, just calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Just hold my hand. Alright. You can't pull right now. Just hold on a second.
I need to get to my dad.
Okay, but I'm gonna bring you over to land, okay? You don't have to worry about the current taking you out. Just listen to me. What's your name? EJ, okay? So what we're gonna do right now, I have to figure out a way to get you up and out without bringing all the water in, okay? Can you do that for me? Can I get you to shore?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really need it.
Yep, okay. So,
really need it.
can you do that for me?
Yes.
You're strong, right?
Yes.
Okay, alright. So I just need to be strong for a few more seconds. Alright?
And what's this?
Oh, that's my minnow bucket. There's fathead minnows in there, okay? Alright, so I'm gonna try to back us up.
Yeah, I know it.
Okay.
I've been screaming it for a long time.
I know, yep.
And he was not listening.
I know. Can you hold on, keep holding on like that?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, good. How old are you?
I can't remember.
You can't remember? Are you that old?
A young boy had been carried away by the river current. He had been stuck in the water for some time, yelling for his father, who was standing on the opposite side of the riverbank. No matter how loudly the boy shouted, his father could not hear him. The fisherman noticed the boy struggling in the water. He cut his fishing line, started moving with his kayak, and headed toward him. The boy grabbed onto the side of the kayak and held tightly. The man chose not to pull him fully into the boat, worried it could take on too much water. Instead, he kept the boy hanging onto the side while paddling toward the closest dock. As they moved across the water, the boy mentioned that he was becoming cold. The man became increasingly concerned. He had no idea how long the child had already been drifting in the river.
Yep. I think he unhooked his anchor and then he just got blown away in the current, which made
Strong enough.
Yeah, you can do it. You've been swimming in the current for so long. Can you? Or you need some help?
Up and out of the water with the giant.
Yeah, are you still really cold?
Yeah, he's colder.
Good job. Yeah, hold on. Let me get this off.
That's why. Where was he?
I think he got blown away over there. Come on, let's see if we can find somebody to get you a napkin. Here, let me get you.
I should use it by the water.
Yeah.
I should.
You doing good?
Yeah.
Still cold?
Yeah.
Come on, let's see if somebody's home. Hi, do you have any towels on him? His dad left him stranded out in the middle of the river. Yeah, and he's saying he's feeling cold. I was just somebody that was fishing, but I want to make sure that he's fine. Then we're going to call 911. We got to make sure you're doing okay so you don't have hypothermia or something like that sitting there. Why don't you want to call 911? Are you scared?
Yes, I don't want to.
It's okay. We just got to get you on and make sure you're getting checked out.
No.
I
don't want 911, please.
Okay, come on over here, bud.
Yep, so he's got you a towel.
It's going right there.
Where was he in the?
Yeah, he was in the bay. When I came up fishing, his dad was right next to him.
Yeah.
Maybe 30, 40 yards west or east of the ramp there. And the current just swept him all the way out here.
Oh.
And his dad
There's actually 2 people drowned here in that same spot last year.
I thought his dad was coming because his dad has a sailboat right there, and he's still not coming. So hasn't came in and checked in on him. So we just got to make sure we get you warm and that you're going to be okay because we don't.
I don't want 911.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, we're gonna get you all fixed up here, Jack.
Yeah.
Once they reached the dock, the man brought the boy to a nearby house and asked for a towel. The boy was visibly shivering. Emergency responders were contacted to examine him and make sure he was not suffering from hypothermia. When the father finally arrived, his reaction surprised everyone there.
David.
Very pleased to meet you.
Yep.
Sounds like he was a bit nervous.
Well, he was screaming, and it was like, I looked back to see where you were at, and you were a couple hundred yards away, and then there was somebody else that had a boat and heard him screaming, but then they went past him because the people had told him that dad was in the water over here. So I'm like, they're gonna go get him, and they didn't. They just drove past him, and then he started screaming even louder. So then I just cut my line, and he grabbed onto the side of my kayak, and I just made sure that he could hold on long enough, because I was gonna try to lift him up in the kayak, but I told myself if I do that, there's gonna be too much water that's gonna come inside. So then that's why I had him. So I just had him hold on to the side. I'm gonna try to paddle to get him in. Then he started telling me that he's shivering, so I'm like, I don't know if the kid, how long he was in the water, or if he could have hypothermia. So I was like, I'm just gonna call EMS, have them check him out. And then I was happy I did come here because they were here.
I'm very thankful of that. First I say 1,000 and then thank yous.
Yep.
That saved me a bunch of hassle.
Yeah.
Because the river takes him a little bit, and I said,
Yeah.
you got this. We've been in this before.
Yep.
And I tried to get him with the boat, and of course the wind's picking up.
Yep.
So it just poofs right across the river.
Yep.
So I had to try and walk it back. That is super slow.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
Yep.
Once again, thank you. And we might be seeing each other again.
Okay.
He did not appear panicked. He showed no obvious signs of concern. The boy had been alone in the current the entire time, and the man who rescued him was a complete stranger who simply happened to be fishing nearby. The father had been nearby the whole time, yet the boy drifted a long distance before anyone reached him. Sometimes the people closest to a situation are the last to react. What do you think made the difference that day? In March 2022, YouTuber and urban explorer Jared Coker uploaded a video to his channel documenting his visit to an abandoned dog food factory in Wichita. His channel usually focuses on forgotten and restricted locations across the country. At first, the trip appeared routine. It wasn't. Jared had explored the factory before. This time he entered through the same route he had used previously.
Ah, yes, there she is. It's legit crazy just being back here. I guess for the second time, we'll start in this building. Okay, I'm in, but I'm like hearing noises and stuff. It might just be the wind.
Moving through the first building and into the area beyond it. Early in the exploration, he began hearing sounds he couldn't explain. Even so, he continued forward. As he moved deeper into the property, the atmosphere changed.
Oh, locker room. See, that's what I'm talking about. Every now and then there's just weird noises and bang. To the rest of the factory, the larger 5-story part. I'm actually really scared of running into people here, no joke. That's where I saw a couple guys walk in the first video. We'll go see if the window I used to get in the first time is still open. I've been through here the first time. It's mostly just kind of old parts and stuff again. Well, they barred that entrance off. Because when you're standing dead center here, you're just kind of surrounded on all sides by giant factory parts. I'm gonna go right through that window again.
The noises continued, and a growing sense of unease settled in. Somewhere near the outer gate, someone had spray painted a warning about the use of deadly force. Jared noticed it, but kept going.
Here we are. It looks just as cool as I remembered from here. Let's say it's time to go into the creepy part, the part where it's all pitch black and burnt down. Here's the area with all the parts and pieces all on the shelves, just mechanical. Like I said, this place is crazy. It just surprises me everywhere I turn. Uh-oh, there's a car right there.
On the upper floor of the second building, he spotted a car pulling up to the main entrance. A man stepped out and unlocked the gate. At first it seemed like a manageable problem. Jared assumed he could leave another way before being noticed.
I can't figure that should be too much of a problem for me though, because the way I'm gonna go out is completely circling around here like I did to get in, so. They're coming in the gate. On second thought, I might just wanna wrap this up a little quicker here. I wanna see where he goes though. Yeah, if I'm gonna leave here, I'm gonna need to know exactly where he's headed towards. Oh crap. He's really coming all the way in here. He's opening the second gate. Now I'm really concerned. He's gonna go around where I can't see him. Huh. I really do gotta get out of here now.
Then the man opened a second gate and moved farther into the property. Jared realized he needed to leave immediately. He worked his way back down through the building, attempting to locate the man before choosing an exit route. From a room with several windows, he spotted him again. This time, the man was holding something.
What do I do? I couldn't tell what he was holding. Oh my God. Was that a gunshot? I think it was.
Seconds later, a loud crack echoed through the building. Jared believed it was a gunshot. He moved quickly, trying to escape without crossing paths with the man. He didn't make it.
I can't see him anywhere. To avoid. Yeah. I don't know for sure. But I think we just have to go for it. Whoa, whoa.
Stop right there.
Whoa.
Who else is with you?
Oh, it's just me. It scared me to death.
Okay, get over there now.
What?
Sit down. Give you handcuffs.
Huh?
Put them on. Got it?
Okay.
Either I put them on or you can put them on. Take your pick.
I've never put on handcuffs before.
Just put them on each side of you. How's that?
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen is the police is going to come and then you take your name and they'll get you for criminal trespassing. A lot better than me shooting you, isn't it?
Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
What you shoot at?
Shoot it. Leave people, I shoot at them. If they run, you shoot. There you go.
The man confronted him directly, forced him to sit down, and placed handcuffs on him. He openly discussed his willingness to shoot anyone he found on the property, apparently unaware that Jared's camera was still recording.
Don't you see? She said something says a use of deadly force. What do you think that is?
I thought that was kid spray.
Somebody else is with you, right?
No, it's just me.
Okay, if I see somebody, I'm gonna end up probably shooting them.
Oh no, I would have gotten him.
Okay, I just don't want, they say wait, they scare me. I'm sorry, it's just life. What we're gonna do is we'll throw your camera and your bag in the trunk, okay? We'll get in a little red cart, we'll just drive up here, put everything out, police will come, they'll ask you for your driver's license, and they'll give you a little ticket.
The footage eventually stopped as Jared was escorted to the man's vehicle to wait for police. When officers arrived, they assessed the situation and prepared to issue a trespassing citation. In the background, 2 teenage boys were walking toward the factory. The man directly informed the officers that he would shoot anyone else he found there. Police left with Jared. The man remained behind. That same evening, he returned to the property, found the 2 teenagers, and fired 6 shotgun rounds at them. Both boys survived and were taken to a hospital. The man, later identified as 64-year-old Kenny Lee Thomas, the owner of the factory, was charged and convicted on 2 counts of aggravated battery. He received 2 years of probation. The threats had been made openly directly in front of law enforcement, with every warning sign already visible. Even so, officers left the scene. What makes this case unusual is that the most serious violence happened after police had already become involved, and after a direct warning had been ignored. Whether that should have changed how the situation was handled is something many people still disagree about. Do you think the outcome would have been different if officers had acted on what they heard? The next video comes from Tyson Piers, an outdoor creator who builds survival shelters, runs campsite projects, and takes on real wilderness challenges. This footage was recorded at his TNT bushcraft camp on July 25th, 2020, somewhere in Canada.
Put out the fence, so we brought these special tools today.
Is that a thunder?
I think so.
I think it's gonna rain. If it rains, we can put our bags under the shelter and we're gonna be all good.
The conditions were already difficult before anything went wrong. The heat was intense, the physical work was demanding, and the site was completely exposed. There was no shelter, and the crew was in the middle of building a fence when the first signs of trouble appeared in the distance. Thunder started forming in the background while the work was still continuing. At first it seemed like it might only bring rain. Nothing serious. The team continued moving forward with the build, but the change came quickly. Within minutes, the rain intensified and the temperature dropped. The environment shifted in a way that left very little time to react. The key detail wasn't the storm itself, it was how fast things moved from stable to unstable. There was almost no transition between the two.
It's 45 degrees outside, extremely hot, and yeah.
Oh shit! Yo! You should have seen those trees just moving around.
Wind became the main issue. Trees around the camp started swaying hard, Branches began snapping nearby. The storm no longer felt distant. The environment was breaking apart around them in real time.
It's 45 degrees outside. I think my shelter is gonna break.
Holy shit! Oh my god! This is unreal! Oh my god! Yo! No.
Then the rain hit the ground at full force. Water started pooling across the area rapidly. Visibility dropped. Movement became harder. At that point, the fence build was completely abandoned. The project no longer mattered.
It's 45 degrees outside. Extremely hot.
Yo, il annonçait même pas de pluie en plus.
Je sais.
Bushcraft gone wrong.
We're absolutely not safe here.
Staying safe did. They acknowledged out loud that remaining there was no longer a reasonable option. That became the turning point, not one dramatic moment, but the simple realization that the situation had moved beyond the point of control. The danger came from speed. Heat first, then thunder, then structural pressure, then flooding. Each condition replaced the last before they could fully respond to it. Sometimes the real danger isn't the storm. It's how quickly things change before you realize you need to move. What would you have done differently if you were there that day? Our next intense video comes from Folks Hairhold, a South African survival channel dedicated to solo camping in active wildlife zones near Kruger National Park. The footage focuses on real-time situational awareness tracking and interpreting animal behavior in dangerous environments. On April 22nd, 2026, in the KwaZulu-Leseri area of South Africa.
Yeah, there was a hippo bull that walked here last night, probably. Walked down this way. Scatterlings of the dung. Yeah, I'm just walking quietly down here, just still looking for a place to spend the night. Check that out. Also something died out here. Seems there was a little bit of a disturbance here, but this is old.
The environment is immediately active. Fresh hippo waste buffalo tracks and signs of a recent kill are all found in the same area, proving these animals are actively crossing paths there.
See, that's the thing. I do think they come in here at night. That's a big hyena track here. When I camp near here, I often hear them use this as a highway to go to wherever they want at night.
He checks how close his campsite is to the water, knowing that wild animals often gather around it. This leaves him with a difficult choice: remain directly in the middle of this active animal route, or attempt to relocate camp just as the sun is setting.
Okay, something interesting, guys. I just spotted it now. I didn't see it on the way in. But this over here is a wild dog track, an African wild dog. That's a very rare dog species in Africa, and you can see the nails there as they were running. There are a few here actually. Maybe they're still in the area, but they cover a lot of distance sometimes. Ah, that would have been awesome. But still awesome to see. Very nice.
Once night falls, the danger becomes real. He hears hyenas calling nearby and realizes a leopard is also moving somewhere close to him. Even without seeing them, he uses his experience and the sounds they make to determine whether they are turning a hidden danger into a very real and immediate threat.
Again, woke me up. But yeah, pretty cool night, eh? Still a cool night. It's probably about the baboon squatting. Yeah, lots of night sounds tonight. Definitely spotted something. Yeah, my fire is dead. And yeah, it's pretty dark tonight. Very dark.
The night quickly becomes loud and chaotic. Lions roar from multiple directions, baboons scream in response, and the bushes constantly rustle around him. Instead of hearing one isolated sound, there's a non-stop mixture of animal noise. Because everything is happening at the same time, he can no longer track a single animal. He only knows he is completely surrounded. As a result, his mindset changes.
But I couldn't wake up. And it was a dream. There was nothing coming. Afterwards I woke up and it was dead quiet. It would have been a bummer because the trail camera, the battery's dead. It's not taking any video, but nothing came by. I think I would have woke up unless a leopard snuck by. It's so nice up there. It's freedom to the next level. You're up in the trees. It is just a different experience. I slept well. I got cold
He can barely sleep, remains on constant alert, and the endless noise becomes overwhelming rather than simply frightening. The entire experience is driven by the sheer amount of wildlife nearby. The danger builds step by step, moving from seeing tracks on the ground to hearing the animals surrounding him in the dark. Even though no animal attacks the tent, the unsettling part is how close they actually come. By morning, fresh tracks beside the tent confirmed the animals never stopped moving. He had simply been camped directly in the middle of them. When you set up camp along an active animal route, you quickly realize how wild nature truly is. Could you stay calm hearing dangerous animals moving around in the dark? Or would you want to pack up and leave immediately?
Hackles are up and her ears laying back. Well, we would like to get through. It's supper time. I don't know if I want my window down when she's doing that. We just want to get by, lady.
He's not letting us by. Come on, miss. We don't want anything to do with you. God. Get out of here. We're gone.
The massive female moose stands firmly in the middle of the trail, behaving aggressively with her ears pinned tightly back against her head. Every time the men inside the vehicle try to slowly move forward, the animal immediately reacts with hostility. Refusing to allow the truck to pass, she attacks the vehicle on 2 separate occasions. First, she slams her head directly into the heavy front grille, and then she forcefully drives her large shoulder into the side of the truck. Despite the strong impacts, the hunters inside remain completely calm. They clearly understand that her violent behavior is not simply random aggression. Instead, it is the desperate protective instinct of a wild mother defending her hidden calves. When wild animals are protecting their young, a thick metal door becomes the only real thing standing between safety and tragedy. How would you react if a giant animal suddenly began ramming your vehicle? Our next video is from Recon One Outdoors, a survival channel about camping alone, surviving severe weather, and testing outdoor gear. On April 21st, 2026, at the Breed River in South Africa, the camper arrives shortly before a major storm moves in. The wind is already blowing, but it has not become too intense yet. His first major decision is how to position his truck. He points the front of the vehicle directly into the wind, using it to block strong gusts from reaching the campsite behind it. That choice becomes critical because the safety of the entire camp depends on that exact placement.
I've got the storm straps out and the pegs. I'm going to put out some pegs in some random places. And as soon as I open up that awning in conditions such as this, it is not meant to withstand winds of these speeds all on its own. So I'm just going to smash some pegs in. This one is a tricky one because of where I parked the car. Guys, there's no science to this. Estimating based on where my arms are once that awning is deployed. Due to the water resistance, that is another issue that I'm going to be dealing with. I've got the cameras to contend with too. I'm going to attach the strap.
He reinforces the camp from the very beginning. Heavy stakes ropes and anchors are secured into the ground. Before he fully opens any equipment, he doesn't simply unfold the roof canopy. He makes sure it is tightly secured first. By setting up a wall to block the wind, he creates a protected area to work in behind the truck. His strategy relies on multiple layers of protection rather than one simple shelter.
And see if there is any other supplies that I can pick up. Things people might have left around. Like I said, I am particularly looking for wood. Amazing the stuff that people just leave behind. A bit charred, but still very usable for us. I brought 2 bags of my own. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be enough, and luckily some good Samaritans.
Soon rain begins falling again, and the wind starts hitting in powerful, unpredictable bursts. He continues gathering firewood, even though the worsening weather makes movement difficult. The camp is fully prepared before the worst conditions arrive, but the storm is approaching quickly.
Dis mislik so buite. It's really gone monkey, it's mental. Hunter doesn't even want to play anymore. Where you boy? You're done. You finished.
As the wind intensifies, the equipment takes heavy pressure. Strong gusts pull aggressively against the ropes, and visibility becomes poor through the blowing rain and wind. When the most severe part of the storm finally arrives, the camp remains standing because of the preparation done earlier. Even under constant pressure from the wind, nothing fails.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is actually really cold. Got a hoodie on underneath, I got a hoodie on top. I was freezing my ass off. Dagger, let's get busy with that steak. We're not baking pancakes here, boys. Good layer of oil.
He applies the same practical thinking to his sleeping setup. Instead of using a fully enclosed tent, he sleeps on a camping cot with a warm winter sleeping bag. He rests out in the open, relying on dependable gear to protect him instead of hiding behind tent walls. Nothing unexpected happens because every detail was planned in advance.
South Africans lose their lives due to flash floods that happen. All these farmers are in contact with each other all the way upriver due to rising river levels. A lot of the pathways and the walkways that are on this property have completely now washed.
He built a camp prepared for severe weather rather than waiting until the storm arrived to start fixing problems. When you build strong defenses before a storm even reaches you, you remove much of the danger and stay in control. Would you rather spend extra time securing everything early, or risk fighting strong wind in the dark after your camp starts falling apart? This next video comes from The Explorer Returns, a UK-based channel built around solo overnight stays in remote and often unsettling locations. On April 18th, 2026, the creator spent the night alone in a woodland nature reserve somewhere in the United Kingdom. Before he even entered the woods, there was already context. Local stories connected the area to paranormal sightings and a headless horseman. He wasn't going in blind, the place had a reputation and he knew it. He went in anyway, committing to staying through the night by himself.
It's getting dark really quick, everybody. I need to hurry up, otherwise I'm going to be pitching up the tent in the dark. The sun is literally setting in the next 10 minutes. Got to hurry up. There are power lines leading into town, but because I'm going so far out in this place, I'm going to use the power lines to get back in the morning, because I have no doubt I'm going to get lost. I probably wouldn't even be able to find my way back now.
By the time he reached the waterfall, he was fully isolated. No other people, no movement, only the faint sounds of trains and wildlife in the distance.
It is now dark, so I'm going to get this tent set up, and the only thing I can see around me is trees. Why did I do this? You guys need to help me share this video and get it out there. I can't believe I'm doing this. Set up with the tent. I've not seen a single person. All I can hear is birds, trains in the distance. Can you hear that? That's the trains in the distance. It is now pretty much pitch black out here. I'm all alone. There's no really going back now. I don't think I fancy walking all the way back in the pitch black. I'd rather just kind of stay here.
He noted how far he was from any kind of help. He got the tent set up quickly, not comfortably, but fast. Then the environment shifted. The birds stopped. The ambient noise faded. In a place like that, when everything goes quiet, whatever breaks the silence next becomes impossible to ignore.
Oh my god, spider on my hands. Shit. Guys, I'm telling you, there's someone out there.
Then came the disturbance. Footsteps. Close by, accompanied by sticks snapping underfoot. That combination suggested something with weight moving nearby. The sounds didn't fade off into the distance. They stayed close to his position, which shifted the situation from background noise into something that felt like a deliberate presence.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I am in fucking pitch black. What the fuck was that?
He called out several times. Nothing responded. No voice, no movement, no confirmation of what was there. Just silence returning, which deepened the uncertainty instead of clearing it.
With a torch. Get out of there. Guys, there's someone with a fucking torch.
Then, at the edge of the forest, firefighters approached him. They were responding to a report of someone attempting to set fire to the woodland. That was a confirmed second variable, another person in the area with clear intent. Suddenly, the night had more than one thing happening in it at once. Once those firefighters showed up, the unexplained part of the night had a possible explanation attached to it, though not a complete one. Something was out there, and it wasn't a ghost. What do you think was moving around his camp before the firefighters arrived? On December 24th, 2022, a YouTuber named Noah, who ran the channel Noah.Nowhere, entered an abandoned house, expecting nothing unusual. The channel focuses on urban exploration, empty buildings, forgotten places, locations people walked away from.
Alright guys, so this is the outside of the house. It's kind of a small little house. It's like a raised bungalow. That's why we don't have a upstairs. Pretty interesting looking house though. Walking in this door. Got Buzz Lightyear over there.
From the outside, the house looked ordinary. It wasn't. The inside of the house was destroyed. Trash covered the floors, along with obvious signs that someone had been there recently.
It stinks in here too. Like, it absolutely reeks of just like urine. It's terrible. They sealed off a door that used to be here, obviously. That's kind of weird. I hate when there's stuff hung up like this in houses. Like, usually that means somebody's squatting in there.
As Noah moved through the rooms, what he discovered became increasingly unsettling. One room had been sealed off with a tarp stretched across the doorway. Noah recognized it as something he had seen before, a common indication that someone had been living there.
Yeah, like look at this. I would say that somebody's definitely was or still is squatting in here. This whole room's like set up. Like, why are there random dresses? Like, that's so creepy. Like, why is there just like a random dress pinned up? Newspapers pinned to the walls all around. It's like a ritual. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's like they're sacrificing something. Those are car keys for a Mazda. What are they doing in here? That's not good. Again, you have like another, like a little dress pinned up with a bike wheel. It's so weird. It's so weird though, because like these two entire walls are covered in newspapers, and then like the little like dresses and stuff hanging up. That's one of the creepier things I've seen in a while.
He entered anyway. What he found immediately stopped him. The walls were covered from floor to ceiling in newspaper pages pinned across every surface. Two dresses had also been attached to the walls, displayed in a way that offered no clear explanation. A bicycle wheel had been mounted beside one of them. Car keys were sitting in the room without any obvious reason for being there. Noah had no frame of reference for what he was seeing. The arrangement didn't resemble anything he could explain, and the longer he stood there, the less sense it seemed to make. He couldn't determine whether it was the work of someone disturbed, someone grieving, or something else entirely. The room felt arranged rather than abandoned, as if whoever created it had a reason behind every object. After the video was uploaded, one viewer suggested a different interpretation. Their theory was that the person living there had lost a family, a child, and a partner in an accident involving a bicycle. The dresses had belonged to them. The wheel was connected to the way they died. The newspapers, the arrangement, all of it served as a way of holding on. Not a ritual, a memorial. The viewer explained that the room didn't scare them. It made them feel sad. A room like that could represent many things depending on who lived there and what they had gone through. Some places tell a story without ever revealing the full picture. What do you think was really happening in that room? This next video comes from Moxley's Paranormal World, a UK-based channel focused on solo nighttime investigations in remote woodland areas, using live audio equipment and very limited lighting. On March 12th, 2026, the creator went alone into a woodland nature reserve somewhere in the United Kingdom. Before he even entered the area, there was already a history connected to it. Not only local stories, but things he claimed to have personally experienced there before. Shadow figures, people appearing and then disappearing. The feeling of walking into something that had no physical form. He wasn't approaching the location as something unknown. In his mind, it was already active.
Look at that then. I'm not too sure if that was something on the trail here. It says Bible, then it sounded like, I don't know, it almost sounded like somebody was walking.
Early in the investigation, his audio device started producing responses. Individual words came through fragmented and disconnected. On their own, they meant nothing, but placed against everything he already believed about the area, they began to feel organized. That was how it started, not with direct evidence, but with sounds that appeared to match what he was already expecting to encounter.
So, if I heard a whisper or not then, diabolical. Diabolical? Just after I heard a whisper, it sounded like a whisper, diabolical. Did you just come in?
He moved farther into the woods. The environment didn't visibly change, but something about it felt different, unsettled. Then he noticed a marking carved into a tree shaped like a cross. By itself, it was easy to explain away. Combined with everything else already happening, it felt like part of something larger.
Fucking chills that. Please tell me you heard that. That was a voice. That was definitely a voice. I can't make out what it said, but it was a voice that said something. Did I just hear your voice?
Then came movement. Fast. Footsteps close to his location. He turned. The sound stopped immediately. That sequenced noise, reaction, then instant silence felt intentional to him. Like whatever made the sound knew it had been heard.
Whistling? Did you just whistle? Did you just whistle? Someone speaking. Right. I keep getting a sensation like somebody's...
After that came voices. Faint and fragmented, but structured enough to resemble speech. Then clearer. Phrases suggesting direction movement tracking. That became the turning point. It no longer felt like something simply existing in the woods. It felt like something aware of where he was and reacting to him.
Say, which way did he go? Not really recorded. I've just sat here for a bit because I don't know if it was maybe somebody somewhere else and they've lost a dog, or if there is actually somebody out here in the woods. And I keep hearing police just outside the woods. You just don't know if there's somebody else here, and he might be looking for somebody who's in the woods, some convict that's escaped from prison. It sounds a bit far-fetched, but I heard people say 2 people, and they went, so I just turned everything off and just made my way down here, but I think I'm going to start trying to find my way out of here because I've come quite deep into the woods now, and if there is people here, they're not using a torch because I've not seen a torchlight. I'm literally lighting the place up, so if there's people here and they're watching me, they know exactly where I am. I have not got a clue.
The investigation stopped feeling like one. It started feeling dangerous. He decided to leave. Not because anything had been proven, but because continuing no longer felt like a reasonable decision. Audio devices in locations like this can capture many things. Whine distant traffic sounds, traveling strangely through trees at night. But a pattern that appears to respond and follow is harder to completely dismiss. What do you think was in those woods with him? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.